Hello everyone, I am Yuji Naka, the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog and Balan Wonder World. You are listening to 4 Males, Sonic and Tails, where our 4 beautiful men do nothing but read Sonic fanfiction every week. Will they stay strong, or will they lose their minds? You'll have to listen to find out. これはただの冗談で、私は中裕二さんではないですが。And remember, いつも早く進むように。And keep sweat dropping.
You are listening to 4 Males, Sonic and Tails. I'm Zach and I like Sonic.
I'm Luke and I'm scared of Sonic because it's October, baby.
I'm Eric and I like Knuckles.
Gary. I'm Daniel, and I sacrifice virgins monthly for Sonic.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow.
Daniel
That's
really putting in 110% with the Sonic fandom and spooky season.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah. Do you guys have any scary Sonic stories that you'd like to tell?
Was last week's episode not scary enough?
That's fair. Recording last week's episode is sort of a horror story in my mind.
That's not scary at all. Amy Rose's farts were cute little poops.
I don't know, man. I've been losing sleep at night just laying in bed thinking about those brassy poots coming to get me.
It's true.
Wake up to your alarm clock like...
I also have a newly acquired fear of back injuries after last week's episode as well.
Yeah.
After Vector's frankly brutal fall.
Yeah, I mean, like, most of us are, like, heading towards, like, being over our mid-20s. And at that point, you really gotta start worrying about your f***ing back, apparently.
Especially when you're an office worker.
Yeah, they say you gotta stretch every day.
Can't wait to become Emma the office worker. Have a hunchback.
Yeah, I look kind of like Quasimodo right now with my bat. Daniel, would you like to share with us what you have selected for this week's fanfiction?
Absolutely. I was sort of struggling with myself, deciding what avenue of horror I wanted to investigate and see what Sonic fanfictions were available. I think that the way I went is a tried and true classic horror, and I think you guys will like it a lot. This is Sonic Vampires: Rise of the Dark One.
Oh no, the scariest thing to me is over 6,000 words.
Might
It
be a
doesn't look
two-parter.
that bad. It's if it's entertaining, I mean, that's good. Like, cause I could have taken 6,000 words of holding your gas, Amy Rose, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what Sonic Vampires are like.
Absolutely.
You know what Sonic werewolves are like because of Sonic Unleashed.
So the description for this story, to sort of set the scene a little bit. Vampires plague 100 years later, post-apocalyptic Earth. Tails, a vampire hunter, struggles to find the vampire that killed his parents, and unknowingly thrusts himself into vampiric prophecy that foretells the rising of the Dark One, pulling his loved ones along with him. Will Tails stop the prophecy, or the vampires rise to rule?
Oh hell yeah, dude! This sounds awesome.
So,
It's like Van
Yeah,
Helsing.
That's the vibe I was getting from it.
Hell yeah! All right, I can dig it. Would anybody like to start reading the fan fiction?
An author's note before we start. Yay, it's my first time making a fan fiction. It's about vampires in Sonic, and it's how Tails gets stronger. Finally, thinking and yelling. All in Tails and no one's POV disclaimer. Sonic and all other characters belong to Sega. I wish, though. ... See bottom.
See bottom?
I wish, though, see bottom.
I
Wait, what's at the bottom?
I don't know. There's nothing
I don't
at the
see
bottom.
anything at the bottom. What is...
They want us to look at their bottom.
Yeah, that's literally what it sounds like.
I have
See bottom.
absolutely no fucking idea what they
I
mean
wish,
by
though,
that.
to see your bottom.
I want to see your bottom, Eric. Show me your butt. Send me them butt pics.
Oh, man.
Send me
Butt
them
pics.
brassy poots.
Where them brassy boots at, Eric?
Yeah. All right.
Sonic plus Vampires, Rise of the Dark One, Prologue. We are in Tails' POV. He saw it happen. He couldn't stop it from happening. Miles Tails Prower, which is no older than 5, watched helplessly as the vampiric red-furred fox approached his parents, who stood in front of him protectively, sandwiching him between his parents and the wall of the living room. His dad brought up a silver cross and waved it defensively at the vamp fox. "Get back, monster! Leave this place!" he growled. The vamp fox swung its arm and impaled him in the stomach, making him scream, spitting out blood as blood splattered onto Tails.
Ooh.
He was too scared to even scream. "Martin, no!" his wife wailed before the vamp fox used its free hand to slit her throat, cutting her off permanently.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice, dude.
Jesus. This is definitely not kid friendly.
Correct.
I'm getting some Bruce Wayne seeing his parents die vibes right here.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, for real.
His mom fell to the floor, and the vamp fox removed his hand from Martin's stomach, letting the blood gush through. Martin turned to Tails and smiled sadly. "Run, Miles. Run and live on," he said as he fell on top of his wife. Tails looked up from his fallen parents to the killer and gasped as he got a clear look. It was a girl with red wavy long hair with blue eyes. She wore a yellow jumpsuit with a white stripe down the middle and yellow and white boots. Tails gasped as he recognized her. "Fiona," he said in disbelief. Fiona had been close friends of his, only 3 years older than him, and he couldn't believe that the bubbly, happy girl he had a crush on was now grim-faced with long, sharp fangs of the vampires, hands dripping with crimson blood of his parents. His knees buckled, and he fell to his knees, overcome with intense fear, pain, and sorrow. Fiona walked over behind Tails, felt her warm breath on his neck, but he was too deep within his mind to resist as salty tears began to streak down his face. Before Fiona's fangs could sink into his neck, out of nowhere a hedgehog appeared and sent his fist into Fiona's face, sending her flying into the wall behind him. Tails looked at his rescuer. The hedgehog's fur and spiked back quills were deep cobalt, and he had emerald green eyes.
Oh,
He looked about 13 years
it's
old.
our boy.
The boy, it's Sonic.
It's our boy. It's our boy. It's the boy. Go on.
He was wearing red shoes with gold straps. He had a double-edged rapier that had a purple ruby in the pommel. Cool. He was glaring where Fiona had landed. Tails looked, but she was gone. "Shoot, she got away," the hedgehog groaned as the rapier disappeared into thin air. Fucking badass. He tuned to Tails with a smile that seemed to say, "Hey, it's all right. You're okay now." "You okay, kid?" the hedgehog asked. Tails nodded, now silent, with awe at the hedgehog. The hedgehog chuckled at his awe-filled silence. "Have any siblings?" the hedgehog asked. No. Tails trailed off. "Sonic," the hedgehog introduced with a thumbs up and a grin. "Sonic the Hedgehog. What's yours?" he asked. "Mine is Tails," Tails replied, giving Sonic the nickname his parents gave him. "Well, Tails," Sonic began, as in one fluid motion helped Tails to his feet, and swung him on his back, careful not to impale him on his back spikes. You just found yourself an older bro. They went outside into the cool, crisp night filled with lazy chirping of crickets. Did he just abduct Tails after?
So gingerly after his parents were murdered.
He's a 5-year-old kid and is immediately like, mine now.
Yeah.
Where are we going? And what about my parents? Tails asked worriedly. We're going to my home and your new one, Sonic replied. And your parents will get a burial once I report. Report home? Tails asked. Vampire HQ, and hold on tight, Sonic said simply as he began running. Soon everything was a blur, but Tails found comfort in this, soon fell asleep.
This is actually amazing. This is a great pick,
I will
dude.
say,
I'm stoked.
I
I'm
was very
invested in
happy
the
with this.
story. I love this shit. This is
this
awesome.
has grabbed my attention. Like, I was listening very intently.
I think the premise, first off, is great. I love it. Second off, it's pretty decently written. A couple, aside from like a couple of like spelling errors or like weird turns of phrases, it's great. That was the prologue, and moving on to chapter 1, I'm going to pass this off to Eric.
So, an author's note. Advent the 5th is back for the second, check storyline. Actually, the first chapter, due to the prologue. Special thanks to my first reviewer, LibraGeek. This story will get better and better as I update more chapters. That said, please review. And remember, thinking and yelling. Thinking is italicized, yelling is all caps. Chapter 1, Tails POV. Tails woke up to find himself at his desk. Dry drool and tears all over his arms, face, and some on his desk. He sighed as he went to the bathroom to clean himself up. As the hot water massaged his back fur in the shower, he stared off into space as he recalled his dream last night. That dream again, he thought. He's been having that dream on and off ever since Sonic saved him, which was 12 years ago, Tails being 17 and Sonic being 25, and took him here, Vampire HQ, or VHQ for short. Records in the Hall of Archives says it wasn't a zombie apocalypse that humans thought it would be, but rather a nuclear war between two ancient continents. And only America survived to an extent. Certain areas of USA changed its properties, like California turning into a desert. Most humans died because of the war. Most of the survivors died due to the nuclear air, and the rest died due to a cure for the nuclear sickness turning into a virus, causing them to explode violently. Soon the virus went after animals, although the effects were different. So vampires arose, and if it weren't for the 3 elders, all would belong to the creatures of the night. The elders has been around just before the apocalypse. Rumor has it that they're dying, but no one knows since they always hang out in the forbidden room. They only talk through intercoms, and only call someone if it's life or death emergencies, and that's never happened for 50 years. VHQ is located in the center of former Kansas, and the US is split among the 4 corners of the VHQ, making an X, and is marked as areas with VHQ as Area 1. North is Area 2, nicknamed Glacio due to that area becoming an Arctic hub. East is Area 3, nicknamed Gradation due to it being overrun with plants. South is Area 4, nicknamed Ether, due to the gravity being drastically off. And finally, West is Area 5, nicknamed Istis, due to it being a desert. VHQ is divided into 5 wings: boys, girls, mess, infirmary, and main. The guys and girls wings are where they sleep. Infirmary is for wounded and sick. Mess is the cafe, and main is where hunters accept missions and go into different areas. Tails got out and dried himself off with a towel and brushed his teeth. When he finished, he checked the time on his watch. 7:57 a.m., huh? He walked out of the bathroom and began cleaning up around his room. His room was medium-sized, with his desk by the door and in front of his bed, with a small closet at the foot near the bathroom. Tails checked his watch again. 7:59. He looked at the door. 3, 2, 1. The door opened and Sonic popped in with a small breeze trailing behind him. "Morning, Tails!" the blue blur greeted cheerfully. "Hey," Tails greeted back. "Finished your run?" he asked. Sonic nodded and chuckled. "Yep, and I'm ready for breakfast," he replied, patting his stomach. "Speaking of food," Tails began curiously, "what's for breakfast?" "If I remember correctly, breakfast burrito and cheese omelet with grits, French toast sticks, and coffee," Sonic answered nonchalantly. Tails' eyes widened at hearing this. "Why do you ask?" Sonic asked, obviously not noticing Tails' reaction. "What are we waiting for?" Tails cried as he grabbed Sonic's arm. "Let's go and get there first!" he exclaimed as he dashed out of the room, taking a surprised Sonic with him. "Holy shit, Tails! Slow down!" he cried as his tail grazed the tile floors, burning it. "I'm gonna pass it off to Luke."
No one's POV. The vampire sat in a slouched on his throne in his grand throne room, garbed in a black cloak that covered his face, only exposing his cold blue eyes and sharp-toothed smile. The throne room was dark save for a few torches among the walls, the occasional flicker of the flames trying to stay alive. He sat there tapping his finger on the arm of the chair as if he was expecting someone. Out of nowhere from the darkness above dropped a female fox, garbed in a black tank top, black miniskirt that exposed her stomach, and black combat boots. She walked forward and knelt a few feet away from the cloaked vampire. "Have you collected the shards?" he asked in a deep gravel-like voice, like someone dragged a chair on gravel, only deeper. "I've only managed to find only one shard, my lord," the vixen replied almost in fear as she held out the point of a pitch-black blade. The cloaked vampire got up and walked to the vixen. As he got closer, his toothy grin grew wider. He stopped and took the shard and hid it among his cloak. "I would hold you in the sunlight," he began as the vixen glanced nervously at the ray of light next to her, "but you did get at least one of our 4 shards, and you did catch me in a good mood. So are I, my apprentice." The vixen got up and the cloaked vampire turned and began to walk back to his throne. "I permit you to go to the bloody wine cellar and drink yourself silly." The vixen began to grin excitedly. "But touch my oldest bloody wine, and I will give you a fate worse than death," the cloaked vampire finished as he went back into his slouched position on his throne. The vixen nodded. "Yes, my lord," she promised as she walked out of the throne room. A few seconds passed before the cloaked vampire brought out the shard and began to fiddle it in his hand. "Good job, Fiona. Good job indeed," he chuckled as he brought the shard closer to his face. "Soon, master, soon you'll have your time." I guess a note from the author.
that was a great evil laugh. A 10 out of 10. That was not a goofy laugh. That was an evil laugh. You guys remember Eggman and his goofy laugh?
I do remember Eggman's
doing his goofy laugh.
Yeah,
Not a true villain like vampires.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Looks like there is a note from the author. A.N. Well, there you have it for the first chapter. Sorry for the long explanation and Tails part of the story, so I hope I redeemed myself the IDK sub-story. So with that said, Fiona appears after 12 years. Why? And who's the cloaked lord? Who's his master? And will Tails get to the cafe first without burning Sonic's tail off? Find out in the next chapter of Sonic Vampires, Rise of the Dark One. Advent the 5th, over and out. And please review. Almost forgot again. Blush. Another note from the author again. Hey guys, Advent here. I want to say sorry for the long wait, but I'm letting you guys know that I'm back from break and that I will be updating Rise of the Dark One, I call it that for short, very soon. I probably won't be able to update Saturday like I usually do, but since I have half a day at school tomorrow, I'll try to update then. But to warn you guys in advance, there's no action yet. I still have to get the story rolling and get character intros out of the way. Blah. Long story short, the story's not going to be discontinued. I will keep updating it when I can. Advent the Blade over and out. And it looks like they kept their word, because here is the next chapter, and I'm going to pass it to Zach.
Oh, thank you, man. Oh, God, Lord, good Jesus Christ. You
Feel
just
free
handed
to
me a
split that up,
goddamn
man.
monolith.
Yeah, feel
here.
free to split it up if you need to.
Okay, this is a note from the author. Hey guys, sorry for the long wait, but I am back. I hope this chapter satisfies you guys. Sadly, no action yet. Still, got to get the tedious starter chapters out of the way. Ugh. So let's get started, shall we? Thinking, yelling, and please review. I don't mind much flame. What does that mean?
I don't
Blame like hate, I guess.
Like she doesn't want to get, or they, I don't know what the author's gender is. They don't want to get hated on.
Or I guess they don't.
It's good. It's like, there's so much worse fan fiction on this website to like hate on, you know, like
Yeah, for real.
I'm
Another
totally down for the Sonic vampire story.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's dope.
Yeah, it's better than another stupid human on Mobius.
Yeah, I think anything is better than another stupid human on Mobius. That was the worst one that we've read so far.
Yeah, you, Luke.
So that was
Another
really
stupid
good.
human on Mobius was so bad that it
Or
made
wait,
us like read Sonic 9/11.
9/11.
I know.
It's okay. Luke will have his chance to redeem himself soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah. I believe in Luke. I it's nothing against Luke. It's against the author. Tails sat at a long table next to Sonic among a vast number of tables and seats, inhaling a large pile of breakfast burritos, French toast. Parentheses author's note. Is it toast for plurals? IDK.
No. What?
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's
Is it
just
toast or
toast.
toast?
Yeah, it's just
Right,
toast.
I think it's just toast. Like, I've got some toast for you guys.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
exactly. I've never said toasts.
Yeah. And cheese omelets. The cafe was huge, about 5 times larger than a football stadium.
Jesus fuck Christ, that's a big cafe.
Massive.
Oh my god.
That sounds
complex.
dope, dude.
It's like a
another-
fucking small town.
But it's due to the many vampire hunters and civilians. It made Tails breathless when Sonic brought him to the VHQ and gave him a tour. Sheesh, Tails. You sure know how to gobble. Sonic cracked with a smirk.
Phrasing.
Oh, yeah, Sonic knows well about that. Says the same person who does the same to chili dogs. A gruff voice retorted before Sonic could. You know, it wouldn't be a proper vampire story if it didn't have a lot of like homoerotic vibes between Tails and Sonic.
Right?
Like, if you guys ever read the original Dracula,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
there's
read it.
so much like gay shit in that,
Bram Stoker's
in that
Dracula.
book. Yes. Yes, you
It's
should
all
read it if you
it's all
haven't read it.
incredibly like erotically written, I think.
Interesting.
A gruff voice retorted before Tails could. The duo looked up to see a red echidna with Lego shoes. Lego shoes?
Getting rad,
Yes.
dude.
What?
White boxing gloves and a necklace that had a small green emerald that hung over a white crest on his chest, and a long shoulder-length dreadlocks. His fierce amethyst eyes glared at Sonic, but his small grin said otherwise. Hey Knuckles, Tails said cheerfully as Sonic put both of his hands on his heart and pretended to be hurt. Knuckles, how could you? I'm so hurt, Sonic mocked, whined. Knuckles rolled his eyes as he sat across from Sonic with a bowl of grapes. Knuckles was Sonic's childhood friend, and they were really tight partners. because Knuckles' dad, Locke, was one of the 3 elders, but had passed away a little before Tails had come along. That's why Knuckles wear the emerald necklace as a memento of him. By now, the cafe was crawling with people, and the cafe chefs are working high time. A white-furred hedgehog with 5 quills sticking up on a fan, wearing black boots with gold bracelets and blue streaks that went into the palms of his gloves. As a circle with gold eyes made a beeline to the 3's table and plopped down heavily next to Knuckles. You know what? Could I pass it off to Luke?
Like somebody else offer.
Knuckles said teasingly as Sonic nodded. Good indeed, Silver groaned. Is it the usual morning medicine? Tails asked, his mouth full of French toast. Yeah, Silver replied softly. You know how it is. Silver is a telekinetic vampire, author's note. Wait, don't bite my head off, I'll explain. But one that hates his own kind because the vampires kill when they feed. But there's a few out there that doesn't kill. From the archives, a vampire can drink a cup of blood per week max, but the vampires can go over it in their opinion due to the fact they view normals, author's note, as they call civilians, and hunters as food bags. Silver met Sonic and gang from a hunter mistaking him as a bad vampire and not a huntpire after things got understood.
Huntpire?
I guess, became a friend to everyone, especially to Tails as a close friend. As for how Silver is out in daylight, there's a serum that allows only huntpires via nanites to sit out in the sun for 3 days, but the effects on Silver make him groggy. He's like taking allergy medication for him. You're not gonna eat? Knuckles asked. Silver glanced at him through half-lidded eyes. Do I look like I want to eat being this tired? Silver asked. Oh, stop complaining, Silver, and go eat, a female voice groaned irritably behind Tails. Both he and Sonic turned to see a lavender cat in a purple, pink, and purple jacket, white pants and matching high heels, and wore her hair in a high ponytail. Hi, Blaze. Silver perked up before everyone could say hey. Blaze smiled warmly. Morning, sleepyhead. You okay? She asked as she went over to sit next to him. Silver grinned painfully and shook his head. Blaze blushed as she hesitated. Here, Blaze stuttered as she pulled down the shoulder of her jacket, exposing her slender shoulder. Silver gave a small smile. You sure? He asked. Blaze nodded silently, still blushing. Silver went behind her, positioned his mouth over her exposed shoulder, his fangs glinting in the light. He plunged his fangs into her shoulders and began to drink. Blaze shuddered with a sigh. After about 30 seconds, Silver let go, licked the double pierced wound, and fixed Blaze's jacket. Thank you, Blaze, Silver said as Blaze turned to him. Silver, Blaze trailed off as the two stared into each other's eyes. It never fails, Tails thought as Sonic grinned widely and Knuckles shook his head with a snort. The duo turned to Sonic and Knuckles. What? Silver asked curiously. Knuckles and Sonic turned to each other and turned back to the duo, both grinning. We ship it, they said in unison. Tails choked on his coffee, stifling a laugh, and Silver blushed redder than Knuckles' fur, while Blaze put on a poker face where her tail was standing straight up. What the fuck, you guys? Silver exclaimed, clearly flustered. Blaze and I are just friends. Right, Blaze? Silver cut himself off as he turned to Blaze, but realized Blaze wasn't next to him, but next to Sonic instead, who just noticed also. Blaze? Silver called confusedly. Talk to me and I'll burn you, Blaze growled. Silver was taken aback, clearly shocked. Women, Knuckles muttered, earning a fierce glare from the lavender cat. I'll burn you too, Knuckles, Blaze added. Let me guess, Blaze, a feminine voice called from above, catching everyone's attention. Tails tore his eyes from his food and looked up to see a white furred bat gliding down to the table. Silver's being an idiot again? She asked with a grin. She was wearing a black jumpsuit with a pink heart over her breasts and white gloves and boots. She wore turquoise eyeshadow that brought out her jade eyes. Not helping Rouge, Silver groaned sadly as he plopped his head on the table while Rouge landed next to Knuckles, who in turn frowned. Rouge was originally a jewel thief that had stole from both vampires and hunters, but after a faker incident, she became close to the Sonic unit, much to a certain knucklehead's annoyance. So how's Silver an idiot? Tails asked Rouge. Both Rouge and Blaze looked at Tails in disbelief, confusing him. You seriously don't know? Blaze asked. Tails unsurely shook his head, earning a disappointed sigh from Rouge. Come on, Fox boy, you're not the smartest one out of all of us. I am. Sonic held up his hand, cutting Tails off. Rouge and Blaze, both Silver and Tails, are very sorry for this incident. Sonic turned to Tails. Tails, you can try to understand girls, but it's very difficult. It can be done, though. Both Blaze and Rouge snorted, and Knuckles chuckled. You say that as the, oh, you do, Tails replied doubtfully. Sonic smirked. I do. Last time I checked. A monotone voice called with amusement from the side wall not far from the table, making Sonic go stiff, and everyone turned to the wall to see a black hedgehog leaning against the wall with his eyes closed and a small smirk on his face. He had red highlights in his curl-up quills, and he wore red, white, and black rocket shoes and gold wrist rings.
This is kind of giving me vibes like the first story we read, where there's just this, it's just this like continuous like people just keep piling into the scene and like interrupting conversation and
one after the next until there's just a pile of people sitting at the same like, table.
Hey, Shadow, Tails greeted cheerfully along with Knuckles, Silver, Rouge, Blaze, and Silver. Okay, Silver's in there twice. Shadow was a hedgehog who was created before the nuclear war, making him, in a way, older than he looks. But he was kept in a chronic capsule, making him sleep, until Rouge found him and woke him, making them adoptive siblings. Soon after, Shadow began making trouble with the hunters, thus called the Faker incident. Since then, Sonic and Shadow became friendly rivals and opened up just a bit to the Sonic unit, then joining it. If Sonic really did understand girls, he would be dating Rose by now. A collective ooh echoed around the table. Shadow opened his eyes, revealing the ruby red luster. Walked to the table and sat next to Tails. And if I remember correctly, Faker, Sonic retorted, using the old nickname both him and Shadow used for each other in the past, making Shadow raise an invisible eyebrow. You're so dead and poker face, no girl can understand you, he finished. Shadow grinned widely, showing his teeth, shocking everyone. After a few seconds, he stopped when he noticed everyone's expressions. What? He asked curiously. He never laughed, Tails thought. I know he smirks, but grinning that wide? You never grin like that, Tails pointed out. What's up with that? Knuckles asked. Shadow shook his head. Nothing. Never mind. Rouge tilted her head doubtfully. Tails noted thoughtfully. Sonic furrowed his invisible... What are these invisible brows they're talking about?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know, man. This one, it started off so interesting.
It was really promising at the beginning.
And it is really just fallen off in the second chapter.
It's
I
true.
think they're hoping to set it for a long series, but it's just not.
I think we should cut it now and come back to it with a fresh mind. I'm hoping that the finale would be good, because the author promised us some violence, right?
It is true.
I'm actually pretty hopeful for this one, because there was that author's note just before this section started where they said, I need to get all the introductions out of the way, and they were kind of treating it like a chore. So maybe that's just what this is the whole setup and introductions and exposition and all that shit that they're just trying to get off the table.
You know, keep sweat spooking.
Changing it up.
Spook dropping.
Keep spook dropping. Yeah, I like that.
Keep sweat bleeding.
Keep fear sweating.
Fear sweating, not a good one.
Yeah, and have a good night, everybody. I hope the Sonic vampires don't get you. Sweat drop.
Sweat drop.
Sweat drop. Sweat drop.